So today, as we are all aware that the NEP 2020 is into implementation and execution at the state level, at the national level, and however, there are so many queries because this is something new, a new policy that is being executed and implemented. The government and administrative people are also equally in confusion about its execution points. So today, Ashiyana Institute and Madhu Sandesh Trust, our parent body, organized an all Goa Urdu Teachers interactive session on this particular topic about NEP implementation and what's the impact on Urdu language and schools. So in that context, we had nearly 70 teachers from across the state attend today's interactive session. There were many suggestions how to go about this issue, because it's not that only Urdu teachers are facing this, it's also every medium of instruction is facing a similar problem.
What is the issue, sir?
So the problem with the implementation and execution is, like, for example, today at grade 3, when we are talking about implementing NEP and language issue. So far Urdu medium schools have been teaching Urdu across board from 1st to 4th, and along with it they would sometimes do it Urdu, Konkani or English. But now with the regional language, that is Konkani or Marathi, getting precedence and that becoming the primary language, despite being a medium of instruction, what happens is Urdu will all of a sudden either have to completely go with one subject, one language subject, and English gets diluted. As it is, government schools and across board schools are facing problem when it comes to admissions, when there is no English being taught at the primary level. Every medium of instruction wants English medium, English as a language along with their medium of instruction to be executed. But the moment English becomes an optional language, then the parents have a problem, and that is where a lot of privatization of education institutions is taking place. Government is also complaining that their schools are shutting down. It's not because parents are not interested in sending their kids, their children to the school, government school, but the problem is that our policies are such where the parents are forced that they should opt for private schools.
How it is going to affect Urdu?
See, in Urdu, what is precisely the problem is when, just to give an example of grade 3 itself, suppose I'm a Urdu, Ashiyana Institute is a Urdu medium school. So far what we are doing is, since June, again, government has said that they have sent a circular, that's okay, but June we were teaching Urdu and then we were teaching in English, and we introduced Konkani because Konkani became a compulsory subject. Now we have a common examination pattern across the state, which is a good thing that it is based on competency. But so far we were teaching environmental studies and math. Suppose
Sir, what is the issue with the language? What is R1, R2, R3?
R1, R2, R3, see, these are again, now we have come to the very most, I should say the most fundamental question. NEP talks about basic education in mother tongue. However, in Goa, NEP says that the first language of instruction has to be either Konkani or Marathi.
Okay, no Urdu there.
Then Urdu comes as a second language.
Okay.
Which normally was what schools were doing, whether it is Konkani, Marathi, any medium of instruction school was doing what? Because we were teaching on our medium of instruction, primary language, that is mother tongue, for example, Urdu medium, Urdu, and then we used to teach English because our children, when they reach 5th standard, they should have a hang of English as well. And the other subjects were being taught normally. Some were teaching in Urdu, some were teaching in English. But now with this whole pattern of saying no, mother tongue gets secondary status, and the regional or the state language becoming the primary language, that is the major concern. That how can the mother tongue become secondary whereas the NEP itself says that primary education, that is a fundamental education, formative education, should be done in the
Urdu is existing in R2 category.
R2 category. And now it becomes an option, because then the parents will say, no, I don't want Urdu, I want English.
There is a big question mark on Urdu in Goa.
Urdu in Goa.
How many high schools are functioning in Goa, sir? High schools.
Urdu high schools, there are, if I'm not wrong, I personally know about 4 or 6 schools.
Okay.
But but on a larger scale, you see there
many
are
primaries are
primary schools are there. See, what happens is Goa, irrespective of what language you use in the primary education as a medium of instruction, whether it is Konkani, Marathi, Urdu, Kannada, Sanskrit, Hindi, or even Telugu, we have school there. But when it comes to secondary, these schools then start teaching in English.
Okay.
But their third language then is the medium of instruction that they learned in their primary language. And as a child, I mean, these are all international studies, and NEP is based on all these international studies itself. And that is why they said formative education should be in mother tongue. You go to Japan, it's Japanese. You go to
What you discussed today, sir?
so today we have discussed that we basically it's an interactive session where teachers express their opinions, how difficult it is getting for them to convince parents what are the changes being done, because the government didn't actually take the parents in confidence or go across board and inform parents what they are doing. The focus, I'm very sorry to say that in the beginning of the academic year was on whether the schools are going to start in April or June, whether the school is going to be at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock and finishing at 3 or 4. Whereas these are very small, minuscule topics.
You want to say parents don't know what is.
Parents don't know. I just spoke to parents of our school yesterday and they were shocked. And they are saying, sir, then how do our children study all of a sudden? 3 months they have studied something else, and within 15 days, how they will face an exam? And this is not just saying that parents are concerned. Understand, this can impact a child's self-confidence. I mean, having studied child psychology, I know that
In NEP, government is implementing 3 language formula, no? R1, R2, R3.
that is for secondary level.
Secondary level.
But in primary level, it is only 2 languages.
2 languages. Which?
So in R1, that is reading 1 or regional language 1, it is going to be Konkani or Marathi. And then in R2 are all the 22 languages under the constitution.
Then what you are going to do?
So what we have done is we have today after the interactive session, since across Goa for everybody to be on the same platform, come together every time is not possible. We have selected a few people. We have it's an informal forum right now that we have created. These people will brainstorm, try and do more research, meet the authorities who are responsible for implementation of this, and know better about this policy, because even the government officials have ambiguity. 2, after knowing the policy, how do we put across our demands is the second part of it. So both these things, we have created a forum of teachers from across Goa.
Okay, thanks so much.